Hello, kia ora, namaste, maloelele, talofa lava, bulavanaka, and welcome to the inaugural Heritage Hockey Tournament coming to you live from Comar Sports Centre here in Papatoetoe, Auckland. My name is Brad Pittman and I will be here to take you through all the action from the third game of the day, which sees the New Zealand Maori Wahine taking on the New Zealand Pasifika women. Both teams have a win and a loss, and this game has the potential to be a real arm wrestle as both teams eye up tomorrow's final. I'm joined on the call today by Jude Menezes, the Vantage Black Sticks women's assistant coach and Indian Olympian. So it's a real pleasure to have Jude here. Welcome, Jude.
Thanks, Brad. Really great to watch this tournament unfold, and I reckon this is going to be a really good contest between New Zealand Maoris and Pasifika, because I think both the coaches called each other out the other day. So I'm actually looking forward to this contest.
Yeah, it will be a tactical arm wrestle between Tina Balkake and Paul Magoon, who it sounds like they've got a bit of a score to settle in this match. And as I said, both teams do have the chances here to roll into tomorrow's final. As we see the teams come out, the match will be umpired by Alicia Anka and by Nikki Hayes. And both teams here sporting young teams, but full with experience as well, as we see Black Sticks on either side in Lulu Tuilotalava for the Pasifika women's side and Tash Brill for the New Zealand Maori team. Look to both of them in their roles as sort of midfield players to stamp their authority on the first part of this game. And the New Zealand Maori women, coming off a loss last night to the New Zealand development side, will be eager to turn that around quickly. And the Pacific women were impressive yesterday against the Indian team, led by their captain. As we look at the Māori women's side for the game, a couple of players of note. Obviously, I mentioned Tash Brill, and we saw the exploits of Oriwa Hepi yesterday. But just keep an eye on Nahui Amuru, who has been in rich goal-scoring form across this tournament, and she scored the first goal of the tournament for the team, and she will be elusive going forward as she links up with players like Kelsey Teneti and Oriwa Hepi if this team is to score goals against this Pasifika women's side. And on the other side, I spoke of Lulu Tuilotalava, but don't go past the goal scoring of Kelsey Lomas, who has scored a couple in her links up with Tonya Bothaway in yesterday's game against New Zealand Indians, and the experience of Carissa Makia and the Vale sisters at the back. They will be well drilled now. They've had a couple of games under the tutelage of Paul Magoon, and he will expect good things from them. They started fast yesterday, which will, maybe try and catch the Māori women's team off guard. But a couple of these players in this Pasifika women's side. Jude, what do you expect to see from them?
I think it'll be an interesting contest because they're a pretty experienced team and there's some really good quality. And as you mentioned, Brad, Lulu, with her attacking flair, can create a bit of opportunity. I'm looking forward to this contest.
Yes, we see just unable to link up, attacking down the right there through Lulu. The Māori women's team will have ball with Tash Brill at the back. In the call of their game yesterday, between her and Grayson Keys Kumiroa, they played really, really well coming forward out of the back and linking with Claudia Hannum, who has started at centre half for the Māori women's team. Up front, we've gone with Bella Ambrosius, who has played the first two games in the midfield. So look to an obvious positional change there from Coach Tina Balkake as she looks to use some of Bella's experience to create more goal-scoring opportunities. A couple little mistakes there from the Pasifika women's side as they attempt to attack has just given a couple of little possessions here for the Māori women's team. Right from the start here, we can see, or we can hear how vocal the Pasifika women's goalkeeper is. Jude, in your experience as both a goalkeeper at an international level and now a coach of goalkeepers, how important is the communication from the back there?
Oh, it's very, very important. I think it's half the battle won if you can organize your defense, and better keepers, they say, don't even make saves because they've got the keepers they've got their defense to push the shot coming from really wide, and then that makes them look good. So communication is a big factor in goalkeeping, communication and organization.
Yeah, none better at this tournament in their communication than Ginny Wilson, who we saw earlier. You will have done some work with Ginny in your role, and talk about what she does for teams in front of her.
Yeah, Ginny's a fantastic communicator, really positive, good energy when she's communicating. Very vocal, so I think she's a bit experienced now as well, so her organization skills have improved, and it's showing off in her goalkeeping.
Yes, we just see the Pasifika woman come forward through Safi Crib on the baseline there. The ball is touched by Marika Magoon towards goal. Obviously daughter of Paul Magoon, the coach. But umpire Alicia Anka just saying a little dangerous through there, and it will earn the Maori woman a free hit. It's taken down there, unfortunately, on the body of Torival, and they will come forward through Kelsey Tenety, who's playing in the midfield. She finds Oriwa Hepi up here. They try and keep control of the ball in the circle. That's Marika Thomas, who will just reassess her options and maybe look to consolidate play here through Chelsea Hepi and Tash Brill at the back, as well as Grayson Keys Kumiroa, who has come onto the ball here looking for Anahita Hudson. But it's a good tackle and challenge from Tonya Bothaway, who was impressive in yesterday's win. Look for Tonya to really spark this team going forward, and her connections with Lulu Tuilotalava, as well as Safi Crib and Marika Magoon, as they try and upset this New Zealand Māori women's side. And that is Anahita Hudson with ball there, just unable to get through Marika. They will keep possession through a long corner. Both teams here with an early opportunity at attacking the circles of the opposition. Something we didn't really see in that first match, as they arm wrestled through between the 25s for the first quarter. But some free-flowing hockey here, and some good skill on show as both teams have the opportunity to attack, as Marika Thomas comes forward into the circle of the Pasifika team. Can't quite find the foot she's after, but Oriwa Hepi and Lulu will work the ball out. Only as far as a solid free hit there given away by Kelsey Tenety. And we spoke on the Friday evening already about how physical this game was likely to be, as Chelsea Hepi does earn a green card for not getting out of the 5-yard zone quick enough. Both teams admitted to how physical this game was likely to be, and now that it's come down to whichever team wins here likely finds himself in tomorrow's final, this one's sure to be both a physical and exciting encounter. Jude, have you noticed anything you like so far?
Yeah, I'm quite impressed by the way New Zealand Maoris have been building up, and I know Pasifika sitting in a half-court press, but the New Zealand Maoris have been very patient in their build-up and getting some decent circle entries around the fringes. So yeah, I expect a little bit more of that as the game progresses.
Yeah, not surprising as a attribute of Tina Balkake when she was playing, the patience in midfield build-up. Apparent here with this women's team, and very fortunate to be coached by someone with Tina's experiences. We see Kayla Val just do enough to earn a free hit there, coming forward for the Pasifika side. Yeah, the influence of Tina on this game already. She'll expect her team to be better than they were last night. As we do see an opportunity here through Hannah Rosalia, saved by Brodie Cochrane, a young goalkeeper who has moved down to play hockey in Auckland currently. She smothers the ball well there from probably not quite the shot Hannah Rose was looking for, but a save had to be made nonetheless. And Tonya Bothaway battling at the top of the circle there with Marika Thomas and with Claudia Hannum, as they just roll the ball back out there to Kelsey Tenety for the Māori Wahine team. She's unable to get through the traffic there. It's been fast so far, Jude. We've had action at both ends, and I'll be impressed if both teams can keep this pace up for 70 minutes.
Yeah, I reckon both teams have got everything to play for. So yes, essentially a semi-final. So yeah, I expect that the space to carry on for a lot further.
As we see a couple of firm whistles there from Alicia Anka. Great to have her out here, obviously an international umpire who umpires on the FIH World Circuit. So great to see her involved in this tournament. So she will keep a control on what I expect will be a fast, physical game, as we do look to link up with Tonya Bothaway, but just evades her a little bit too far out in front. There, the pass from Torival. So we'll allow Tash Brill to just bring the ball back out and survey her options.
Yeah, the Pacific is just struggling a bit with that final connection at the end, but they're creating some good play out down the right there with Lulu, and they're looking for Tonya Bothaway up front.
Yeah, Tonya's been in fantastic touch up that right-hand side of the field. She set up two almost identical goals yesterday with a good baseline entry and ball back in front of the goal. So I think if they can get that last pass connection you speak of, they could be dangerous here. So the Maori women's team will have to be aware of that, as they do turn the ball over and failing to get out of their own end, but are awarded a free hit, which Anahita Hudson brings forward through Bella Ambrosius. And that is Marika Magoon just settling things down. Great ball speed out to Lulu. If she can link up here, she eyes up. Yeah, she was looking through for Grace Parkinson, and if it weren't for the last little touch here of Tash Brill, I think between her and Kelsey Lomas had the circle to themselves. But the Pasifika side will just turn possession over there, unfortunately, through Claudia Hannum, who is a high-quality player. And this is Bella Ambrosius, who, if she can get around the last tackle here, will have a good shot on goal. Probably not the shot you would have liked to see there, Jude. Under the pressure from Kaya Elliott, Bella just found herself a little too close to the baseline, and maybe you would have liked to see her just roll the ball onto a strong side and survey her options a little bit more there.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty regulation save for Maddie Forbes in goal from that angle. So, yeah, you're right, Brad. Under pressure there, just try to get an outcome in the circle after doing all the hard work.
Yeah, and it will be hard work out here. These girls have played 2 games already. This is the 3rd game in a row, and fortunately the sun has set here in Papatoetoe in Auckland. So some of the effects of the heat won't be as evident, but certainly the fatigue will be there. So it will be a tough game. As we just see the little one-on-one battle between Anahita Hudson and Marika Magoon. That's Ruby Meehan just not able to link up with Bella Ambrosius. They're going into the attacking circle for the New Zealand Maori women's team.
Both teams, I think, will be feeling day 3 fatigue. So 3 days, the 3 games in 3 days, it's not easy to play at this level. So I think you will see a few tired bodies by the end of this game.
As we see the little one-on-one battle there between Chelsea Heppy and Kelsey Lomas, still in that arm wrestle there. Advantage to Pasifika as Chelsea Heppy just throws the ball out over the sideline, and Lulu starts coming forward. Able to link up with Rose Parkinson. And just looking for Tonya, by the way, and Kelsey Lomas in the circle there, unable to link up. And we also have Jamie Lewis up there for the Pasifika side. Just the Pasifika woman happy to sit out in a 3-quarter press. Probably very aware of the exploits of Tash Brill in her overhead and her upright hit. So not wanting to give up too much by mistakenly being in a full press. But that is Tash Brill making an error and a very cynical roll of the ball away after the free hit, as Alicia Anka left with no other option but to send her for a spell. And this may be a real opportunity for the Pasifika woman, with a player up and that player being Tash Brill missing from the Maori Wahine side. An opportunity here to attack.
Yeah, very lucky not to concede a penalty corner there as well.
Yeah, I think Alicia Anka there just opting to go with the personal penalty rather than the team penalty, and I think the Pasifika woman would have rathered the penalty corner. Though if they can make something of Tasha's absence on the field here through Lulu, they will be happy as well. But it's a good solid boot there from Brodie Cochrane. They can, unfortunately, yes, they will win the free hit through a little bit of a ping-pong battle there up on the baseline with Ruby Meehan and Lulu Tuilutalava. Chelsea Heppy will look to come forward. And only makes it as far as halfway, as the Pasifika women just look to put a bit of a squeeze on here as they are a player up. But that last pass you speak of, Jude, again, just going awry there at the end of Kelsey Lomas' stick.
Yeah, that's right, and good opportunity to get in the full court press now with Tash off the field. Takes away that aerial option.
Yes, we see Jamie Lewis just getting a little closer to Claudia Hannum. Fortunately for the Māori women's team, they do have Claudia who can roll back in there and still offer some of those similar skills that Tash Brill does possess. But the Māori women just finding it hard to come out of their own end, for this last minute while they've been down a player. That is Claudia on the ball now, and she'll find Chelsea Heppy. Has Ruby Meehan outside her, breaking in field. It's a nice little receive there if she can find the other side of the field. And that is Anahita Hudson with players ahead of her who But just a little error there, unfortunately, in front of the dugouts. Does give possession back to the Pasifika women's side now as we close into the last 5 minutes of the first quarter. No goals scored. A couple of opportunities at either side, but probably not quite as high quality as either coach would be expecting in a game that means a ticket to the final. Jude, what would you like to see as an improvement from this Pasifika women's side?
I think if they get their connections, there will be a threat. And as you see, Lulu just making her way through the circle now. We just need to see Lulu more on the ball, and I think we'll get a few outcomes there.
Yeah, she's coming into her own here as she makes those connections with her players. Remember, they only came together on the Friday morning before the first Friday game, so connections is something, as I spoke to her father Will on the first game, that this team was going to need to build, and they have continuously got better. So I'm sure as they build into this game and Lulu does start to get a handle on her players, she will be exciting to see as we have Tash Brule playing forward. She is back on the field now, unable to link up with her players, and Tori just cool and calm as she is, works the ball out to Lulu. And as we've seen so often from Lulu, happy to do the physical work and happy to throw her body around in pursuit of the ball. We've got bandages already on the knees from earlier games this weekend. As the Pasifika team transfer the ball well. Look to go forward through Antonio Cortese. There as she earns herself a free hit. It's Carissa Makia, who has been fairly quiet so far in the game. One of the more experienced players in this Pasifika women's side, and as I have mentioned before, is actually eligible and will have played for this New Zealand Maori women's side if it weren't for having a Pasifika team for her to represent. So great to see her out here, but has been quiet so far in this match. I would like to see her get a little bit more involved with Lulu and with the likes of Tonya and Kelsey Lomas going forward. As the Maori women just hold position at the back here. It is Tash Brill again on the ball. She surveys her options going forward. It's
that's a great ball by Tash.
It is a great ball. She's a real exponent of that deceptive hit, where she's looking down the right-hand side of the field and just eyes in with her striker looking for the left-hand corner. And if those can come off, this Pasifika team are going to be chasing air here. So do look for the deceptive skill in Tash. It's a fantastic skill she does possess. She just needs to link up with what she has going forward.
Yeah, she was a bit unfortunate there. That connection almost came off with Bella Ambrosius and would almost have led to a one-on-one contest on the top of the circle. So, yep, look out for those searching passes from Tash.
Yeah, and there's another of those searching passes from Claudia Hannum. It doesn't quite fall the way she'd like it, but a shot attempt from Kelsey Tenety, just looked after there by Tori Vale. Some good pressure on the shot. It's a nice quick shot as the ball fell to her. Fortunately not enough to get past the defence of the Pasifika women's side. As the Maori women just enjoy a little bit of possession and territory coming forward here towards the Pasifika goal. Yeah, good quick free hit taken there by Kelsey Tenety, but maybe the pass just forced a little bit as her players maybe weren't ready for her. It's a good little contest there between Marika and Bella Ambrosius on that ball received there. Unfortunately, Marika just playing through the stick of Ambrosius and giving away the free hit. An unforced error out there by the Pasifika women's side will hand possession to Uriwa Hepe, and she tries to link up with Kelsey Tenety. That's again Tori Vale just putting pressure on the shot there. I think she's a very smart player, and I know does some coaching for Auckland Hockey. She will be pretty cool and calm in the circle there. A good physical presence that this Pasifika side will need to keep the Māori women's team at bay here as they go searching in this last 30 seconds for the go-ahead goal. It's been a good physical first quarter. Both teams with a couple of opportunities. The Māori women probably have the run of the last couple of minutes, and here may be the last opportunity for the quarter. As they do in the free hit outside the circle, but it may be too little too late as the clock does wind down. And that will spell the end of the first quarter of hockey here between the New Zealand Maori Wahine and the New Zealand Pasifika women in Game 3 of the day here at the inaugural New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament. The score is 0-0. The sun is setting and we will be under lights shortly, and I'm joined here by Jude Menezes for all you watching at home on Sky Sport Next and on the FIH app worldwide, brought to you by Local Gecko Productions. Jude, obviously the assistant coach for the Black Sticks women, as well as Olympian himself with over 130 games for India. Jude, what do you like so far from this game?
I think it's a pretty even arm wrestle at the moment. Feels like two boxers just feeling themselves out. Still, both teams haven't really thrown all their punches yet, but I think as the game progresses, you'll see a little bit more firepower coming from both these teams. I reckon it's still just an evenly matched contest at this point of time.
Yeah, there were certainly periods in that where either team had, maybe a little bit of dominance, as we see the replay here from the first quarter, thanks to One Foundation. This is the New Zealand Pasifika woman coming forward through Safi Crib. She does get that baseline entry there, but just unable to link up with her players cleanly. Does force a save from Brodie Cochrane, but enough to earn a free hit out by the New Zealand Maori women's team. And this was one of those periods where the Pasifika woman did get a little bit of territory here, and trying to line up Tonya Botherway, who I have mentioned being good so far, and a good little smothering save there by Brodie Cochrane in goal for the New Zealand Maori team, and cleared by Marika Thomas. As I said, both teams enjoyed a little bit of possession at different times in that quarter, and you're right, it did feel very much like they're both just trying to see what the other was doing, where their strengths were, what this game was going to be like, and there is still plenty of hockey as both teams walk back out onto the pitch to start the second quarter. The Pasifika women will start with possession through Tonya Botherway and likely through Safi Crib. Both teams still searching for that knockout punch, the goal that they're after, and both teams having goal scoring abilities in them. I mentioned Oriwa Hepe and Bella Ambrosius for the Maori women's team, and Tonya Botherway and Kelsey Lomas for the Pasifika women's side. We're just looking for both to build up play a little bit more and really put the icing on with that last pass, which at the moment just seemed to be falling off the sticks of both sides in this arm wrestle of a match. Just to give a little bit of context, both these teams with a win and a loss, so both eyeing potential spots in tomorrow's final, as the New Zealand development team took care of the New Zealand Indian women's side in the earlier match to cement their place in the final. So likely the winner here will go through to play the New Zealand development women, who have been impressive. And Jude, you will be involved to an extent with your role with the Black Sticks in that development program. Did you get to see any of the development women's game, and what did you think of their match?
I didn't watch the game today, but I did watch them yesterday, and I've been quite impressed with some of the play. We've got to remember that this team has come together at very short notice, so they're still coming, almost finding each other, and it's really good. They're in the finals now, so hopefully they should produce the best hockey of the tournament tomorrow.
Yes, we do see the Pasifika women with an opportunity here through some continued pressure there from I believe Antonio Cortesi there, just almost Katie Glynn-esque, forcing her way through what would be tacklers. A name you're very familiar with, Jude, and similar there, just barreling her way through tackles to try and find that goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Katie Glynn was pretty special in that circle. Really good touch there, and knew how to find the back of the net.
As we see the Māori woman just come forward through Claudia Hannum. She's got a couple options on the left-hand side of the field as she does use Marika Thomas. That's a great tackle there by Marika Magoon, who is certainly the smaller player, able to get her reach and get all ball there. Wins her team the free hit. As I mentioned a little earlier, that is Paul Magoon, the coach's daughter. So any bet he had with Tina Belkake, she certainly has to follow up with out on the field. As the Pasifika woman again through Cortesi and through Parkinson look to come forward. It's a great on-the-fly tomahawk pass, but it is intercepted well by the Māori women's team. Just want to see a little bit of small game here. They do enough to win the sideline hit, and Claudia Hannum looking to go over, just not quite far enough to link up with Ambrosius as the Pasifika women team with Kaya Elliott at the back here. And Safi Cribb only gets as far as Marika Magoon. She'll win another free hit there. Interesting little matchup there. Not a common name, but is Marika Magoon against Marika Thomas in that sort of midfield role there currently. So Kaya Elliott with ball at the back. And these are these periods of possession we spoke of as an error there from Kayla Val. Just will award possession back to the New Zealand Māori women's team. We just survey across the field. She runs into Botherway and into Parkinson. Parkinson finds Hannah Rosalia, but ruled back of the stick, which yeah, Alicia's a little closer to the action than we are, but it looked all right to me, Jude.
Yeah, it did, but we are sitting around 100 meters away, so yeah, I would give Alicia the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Yeah.
A really good pass and find the free strike on the top of the circle.
Yeah, no, it would have been alert stations there for Brodie Cochrane in goal. As it looked like she probably had 3 Pasifika women players coming at her and with possession, so maybe fortunate for the New Zealand Māori women to get out of that one on an umpire's call, but they'll take it, and they're down the other end now trying to put some pressure on this New Zealand Pasifika side.
It's a pretty good start by the Pasifika women in this second quarter. I think it's been all Pasifika at this stage. And I think this game will open up even further now.
Yeah, I think each team, as they grow in confidence and start pushing players ahead of the ball and want to hit that striker, the game will lengthen out a little bit, and we will start seeing some opportunities as we see a physical encounter there between Tash Brill and Tonya Botherway. Tash Brill probably not the one on the field, Jude, that you want to pick a fight with, but good on Tonya Botherway for being in there and being physical and not backing down from this challenge. This is a little clean up there. It's a big, that one's definitely back at the stick.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you've seen a few more body clashes now.
Yeah. We were up at the Legends event, of course, Jude, that you were part of on Friday evening, and one of the Pasifika women's team did get up and say that they may need the ambulance on hand for this match, and if the game continues the way it is at the moment, I think she may be right.
Yeah, hopefully we don't need an ambulance.
This is Kaya Elliott with ball at the back for the Pasifika woman. I've been impressed with her ability to move the ball from side to side as she finds Jessica Weck. Unfortunately, does give away a free hit to Isabella Ambrosius. Just looks at what she's got in the middle of the field, and that one's going to outrun everybody. Unfortunately, not everybody is as fast as Bella in her attempts to find the other side of the field. It's enterprising play, but it's not going to come off there as the Pasifika woman will have ball there through Storm Dolan Robson. And as I mentioned previously, Kaya Elliott.
Yeah, I have been impressed with young Kaya Elliott with her composure at the back. She's really young and has been standing her own as a centre back here among some very high quality players around her.
Yeah, it's never an easy job when you play a back three and you're the middle defender, and a lot of the job of ball transfer does come down to you. And she's been impressive there, and even her communication you hear here now as she hands off players and she goes to help Lulu with the work on Oriwa there. She's been impressive so far in this match, as we do have an attack here. Again, cleaned up by Tash Brill, probably a statement I'll make once or twice today. But the Pasifika woman will retain possession through Antonia Cortesi there with a long corner. And she's got options forward and back, and just opts to come back here through Jessica Weck, who, similar to Brodie Cochrane, has come down to play her school and club hockey down here in Auckland, originally from Whangarei. And here for the Pasifika women's side, as Cortesi just looks forward, and I'm unable to link up with her players going forward, but the Māori women not out of the woods yet. They're still deep in their own end, and Jude, this period of dominance for the Pasifika women team continues. The Māori team really unable to get genuine possession coming out of their back end, and the Pasifika women's team just waiting for that opportunity to break through and create something in the circle.
Yes, I agree, Brad. And I think they've been pressing aggressively, and that's caused a real momentum shift for them. So they just need to convert this into a goal now.
Yeah, absolutely. That sort of pressure can work both ways, can't it? You know, you can spend a whole quarter putting a team under the pump, and if you don't get any reward for it, physically it's taxing, and mentally as well, that you've put all that effort in and unable to get the go-ahead goal you're after. So, you know, they'll really be looking to turn this pressure into points here and avoid that, you know, that disappointment I speak of.
Yeah, and to the credit of the New Zealand Maori women, they've been defending really well. So they've got some experienced defenders, and you've mentioned Tash Brill. Her experience will be fantastic for New Zealand Maori at the back.
Yes, we do see this arm wrestle continue, and that is Carissa Makia and Claudia Hannum going at it. Now they play they play a bit of hockey together for the Tamaki Makaurau women's Maori side, so they know each other pretty well. Good to see them going head to head in a little battle there as Jess Weck attempts to play forward, but it is intercepted by Marika Thomas, who will just roll off the ball. And the Māori woman will come through Chelsea Heppy here. Bella Ambrose is just instructing her strikers to give a little bit more height, try and stretch this Pasifika women's side defence out. As we see the defensive unit that the Pasifika women's side currently running with, there may be some opportunity to turn in behind them and use some speed. Unfortunately, there is Marika Thomas just loses possession with a couple of players ahead of her. Kaya Elliott has taken a break here, so they do lose a little bit of speed around the back, the Pasifika women currently. So perhaps look as a little adjustment to see the Māori woman just play a little higher up here and ask some questions of you know, Jessica Weck and the Vale sisters who are at the back for Pasifika women at the moment. It's Grayson Keys Kumiro on the ball coming forward. It's great defensive work there, Jude, just to shadow her across to the sideline and really run her options out of what she can do. It's a good slide there by the Pasifika women's side. And fantastic interception there by Antonia Cortesi, just to stop Tash Brill's searching pass.
Yeah, not only are they tackling, are they pressing well, they're also re-tackling pretty aggressively, the Pasifika women. So I think that's helping them a lot and creating a lot of turnover ball.
Yeah, and as we said, just it shut down the Māori women's ability to make the way out of their own half with genuine possession. You know, like I said, we haven't seen a lot of it, and it is, by all means, credit to this Pasifika women's side and their ability to back tackle and put defensive pressure on across the field. You know, like you said, they will really be wanting to get the result here on the scoreboard from this, the way they've been playing. This ball just falls through there. Unfortunately, that was Jamie Lewis unable to put the ball in the goal there on a reverse stick. The ball did just fall to her, and it was a small opportunity. But you really want to make those ones count, especially at a time where if you can manage to get the ball past Tash Brill, you want to make that opportunity, as we do have a little stoppage here. Jamie Lewis is going down, and she will stay on the field, which is good to see. Hopefully, you know, she's all good. There's Tash Brill a little wild out of the back there, and we do hear a bit of a yell of despair. And as I mentioned last night, where she did get very vocal. Nothing new from Tash. She's very vocal in the way she plays.
Yeah, she wouldn't be too happy with that pass, but lucky to get away with it.
Yeah, she sets high standards of herself there, and just disappointed in her execution.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm really impressed with the way Pasifika have been pressing. The structure's been really solid.
Yeah, it's awesome to see, considering again they only came together on Thursday, and they a lot of these girls hadn't actually met each other before the tournament. That's a great little bit of defensive work there from Marika Magoon on Grayson Keys Kumiroa. It's fantastic to see how much this team has grown. You know, they conceded a goal in about 3 minutes in their first match, and have grown ever since then. As Kayla Val just assesses her defensive work and does fantastically well, but only as far as the 25-yard line. And it's a nice little ball across to Claudia Hannum. Unfortunately, just gets a little too far ahead of her as Hannah Rosalia. And you hear Paul Magoon there on the bench imploring them to go forward, go at pace. They've got numbers here through Lulu, who again just loses the ball, but wins it back. She is strong. Wins the first free hit. They may have conceded the second one, but Alicia happy to give her the first free hit.
Yeah, it was a very important tackle at the top of the circle there to break Lulu's run there. Really fantastic run to the middle of the field from Lulu.
You know, I think what we'll start to see is both teams, really want to push for attack, but also are playing under fatigue. Is some more opportunities like that, and the team that can make the most of them, will be the one that puts themselves ahead on the scoreboard. As the ball just falls off the stick of Carissa Makia there, but again, the Maori women struggling to outlet the ball and struggling to get away from their own end.
Yes, they have been soaking up a fair bit of pressure in this quarter, so as long as they hang in there, they'll be pretty happy with how it's going.
Yeah, it's another one of those, a team can really be buoyed by keeping things out, and if they can get one down the other end and create an opportunity, can really grow confidence from defending so well. Though they would like to spend a little bit more time away from their own goal, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And for all the time that they've been defending, they haven't conceded a penalty corner, so I think they're holding out really well.
Here's Tashbril, just looks for another one of those searching passes, gets it as far as Claudia Hannum. A very strong stick contest there by Tori Val. Does enough to break down the play, but does concede a free hit. Claudia Hannum just looking to find Chelsea Heppy. It's a tough pass out there at left half when the ball's rolled in front of you there and you are running to try and pick it up on your reverse. So we see the Maori women just happy to start in a three-quarter press here and slide for the moment. Not looking to come out of that shape just yet. And just opt to put pressure on the wing defender there and force the error. I think again this Maori women's team probably pretty aware of the distribution skills of the Val sisters and their ability to hit a good ball out of the back. Probably not wanting to overexert and leave gaps in behind, and just happy to sit in that three-quarter and expect them to play out of their wing halves a little bit more. It just finds the foot of Parkinson there. We'll give the Māori women an extra 3 or 4 metres as they attempt to play some hockey in this quarter at the other end of the field. And we've got less than 2 minutes to go here. If they can turn something on in this last minute, like we said, after wearing so much pressure, will really be a testament to the way they've defended this first half. But unfortunately, not able to link up. The Pasifika women will gain possession. They're still in their defensive area, but again, you can see just a three-quarter press here from the Māori women's team. As we see Safi Cribb on the ball, just looking to link up with Tori Val. Ball fallen through there to Hannah Rosalia. If not for a great tackle there by none other than Tash Brill. Again, another one of those players that more than happy to put her body on the line to make a tackle. I'm sure they won't want to concede anything here in the dying stages of the first half. Physical again. Not to anyone's surprise here around the ground at Colmar. I'm sure Tash just happy to probably finish this quarter at the other end of the field. And not with any risk to allowing the Pasifika women's team to have one last chance now. That brings us to half-time, and we are still 0-0 here between the New Zealand Māori Wahine team and New Zealand Pasifika women's side. The arm wrestle has started to stretch out a little bit, and I think if we look at that quarter there, certainly dominance to the Pasifika women's side as they played a lot of their hockey down their attacking end and unable though to break through for that attacking penalty corner or a real genuine shot on goal, which is testament to the way the Māori women have been defending. Though I'm sure Coach Tina Balkake will want them to play a little bit more of their hockey at the other end in the next quarter. So, Jude, what's most impressed you so far from the Pasifika women's side?
As I said before, the structure in their press has been quite impressive, and I also think their midfield is dominating the battle at the moment, and that's why they're creating more opportunities. New Zealand Maori are going direct, and Tash has hit a couple of long balls which have been quite productive, but they need to go a bit more through the midfield and create a little bit more link-up play through the middle of the field.
Yeah, I think as we see some of the replay here from that first quarter, we can see the dominance the Pasifika women's side had. Yeah, a lot of time spent there at the attacking end. And I think you're right, Jude. The midfield battle probably just being won by the Pasifika women at the moment, and certainly through the work of Lulu Tuilatalava, who has been dynamite in the midfield for the Pasifika women. This is the shot here from Bella Ambrosius, who, as we said, probably would like to have that time again and maybe get a more quality shot than the baseline she opted for. Tori Vau has been good, searching for ball out of the back for the Pasifika women. That's Rose Parkinson, just eyeing up the circle edge there for the Pasifika team, but you can see their good low body positioning from the Māori defenders, getting outside the circle to do their work, and all being a little lower than the Pasifika women, which is probably the reason they haven't conceded a penalty corner yet, and the Pasifika women aren't on the board despite the pressure they have had. Now, you speak of the long ball out of Tash Brill, and it is looking, if it connects, like a good option, but we think they could shorten things up a little bit and just use some of their midfield option and not to go away from the long ball, but earn the right to hit the long ball.
Absolutely, and you just mix it up a bit and you keep the opposition guessing as well. The Pasifika team will have to change their press because the New Zealand Maori are mixing up the options. I must say young Brodie Cochrane in goal has played pretty well and made a couple of good important saves because those balls could have rolled in as well. So both keepers have done their jobs pretty well in keeping the scoreline to 0-0.
Yeah, how tough is it for the Pasifika women's goalkeeper, who hasn't been called on so far in this quarter, to should the Māori women's team come out and start fast? How tough is it for her to stay engaged, both physically, likely getting cold with that quarter being so dominant to the Pasifika team? How hard is it for her to stay engaged in the game?
It's probably the hardest job for the keeper who's less engaged because there's no shots coming your way. So mentally, you've got to be really switched on and be ready for breakdown play and or for a counter attack. So it's a really hard job when you're not being tested, but you still have to mentally be awake to any challenge that may arise.
Absolutely, because it's likely only 3 passes, or in Tasha's case, 1 pass away from potentially a shot straight on goal, and being able to stay engaged in the game, tough. And we speak of Brodie Cochrane's saves, and they haven't been those real bell ringer shots, but again, probably the more difficult ones are those soft, bouncy, you have to get in front of the striker and smother kind of shots. So she has been impressive and is a young goalkeeper.
Yeah, around 80% of goals get scored in that 7-yard zone, so she's done a really good job there to scramble and make a couple of saves there. So yeah, good on her.
Yes, we just see the Māori Wahine team on screen there going for their last little word, and Tina Balkake steps back and implores them to execute to their best and continue defending well, but probably play some hockey at the other end of the park. As both teams come back out here, this is going to be an arm wrestle. We've got 30 minutes or 35 minutes left of hockey to play. Both teams with eyes on tomorrow's final, where they will come up against the New Zealand Development Women's team. We are 0-0 here going into the third quarter of hockey between the New Zealand Māori Wahine team and the Pasifika women's side. And as the teams change end here, we will get to see some action from the other point of view as Tash Brill comes down our end, and we will see the goal of Brodie Cochrane in front of us. It's going to be important to see how the Māori women start here.
Yeah, I reckon we need an early goal in this game, Brad, and I think you'll see the game open up a little bit more then. Yeah,
no doubt. Something early here can really turn this game on its head. It's been quite, what's the word for it? it's been quite calm in its progression so far. You know, neither team really overexerting or underexerting at either end of the field. But I think all it's going to take is one opportunity, and these teams are really going to start to push things to try and find that spot in tomorrow's final. As you just see the Pasifika women's side here, looking to go aerial out of the back. Unable to be controlled by Claudia Hannum, but will be taken down there by Amy Mitchell for the Maori women's team. And that's Anahita Hudson on the ball. Tash Brill just giving herself a little bit of depth. The Pasifika woman will do enough to earn possession coming out of their own zone. That is Carissa Markia. Under a little bit of pressure from Bella Ambrosius and by Amy Mitchell.
It's been really impressive to see the skill development in women's hockey over the last few years, especially with the aerial ball. Quite a few of the girls now throw a 20-30 yard aerial effortlessly, which wasn't happening in the game maybe 5 years ago. So that's very, very heartening to see.
Yeah, I think it adds, certainly to the dynamic of the game. You know, previously you may have in the women's game just been able to high press everything, not expecting a player to be able to get over. As the Pasifika women do come forward here with the first opportunity of the second quarter. Claudia Hannum on ball defence, and that's Tash Brill cleaning up again. As I was saying, in past years you may have just been able to high press everything and probably win possession more often than not. But now with the inclusion of the overhead and it's created a more dynamic game and expects teams to be better skilled in their pressing.
Yeah, absolutely, and just makes for better hockey overall.
Yeah, as we see the ding-dong arm wrestle continue here. The Maori woman with possession. Happy to play back to Tash Brill and to Claudia Hannum. Make the Pasifika women's side run a little bit up the front. They are sitting just in front of a half court there. It's a good little bit of skill there. She's battling away and not able to win the free hit, so Oriwa Hepi will come forward with the ball. It's Grayson Keys Kumiroa unable to link up with Kelsey Tenety, and that's a poor back tackle there by Kelsey Tenety, which will give Tori Vau a free hit there for the Pasifika women's side. And here is Tash Brill. Tonya, by the way, just looking to put a little bit of a blindside press on her there, and Tash Brill experienced enough just to throw the 3D pass over her stick, but unable to connect out on the wing half was Amy Mitchell. Interesting little tactic there from Tonya, trying to catch Tash from the blindside there.
I think it's a really good ploy by Tonya, because if you give Tash time, she can then find the pass up front. So shutting her down early is a really good option. I think maybe they might have discussed that at half time, and Coach Paul McGoon might have made that call to shut down Tash's time on the ball.
Yeah, there's certainly a difference between as we see. Yeah, that's a great touch there by Claudia Hannum. Had to be made there, because I think Tonya, by the way, was probably winding up to shoot.
Tonya can be quite lethal from that range.
Yeah. As we speak about just cutting down the time of Tash Brill, there's certainly a difference between shutting a player down and shutting their time down. I don't think anyone really can completely shut down Tash Brill. So just shutting her time down will go a long way in reducing her effectiveness for this Māori women's team.
Absolutely right, because it reduces her passing range, and she does have a huge passing range, so you take the time away from her, and that forces her head to go down, and she might have to shorten the passes, as we saw when Tonya pressed her the last time.
So you see Tonya just hanging up a little higher in the press here, so she may look, she's just happy to sit out at the moment, probably not as connected with her other two strikers as she would have liked to be if she was going to run the blind side again. Happy just to put some pressure on Claudia Hannum, who does enough to keep possession. Yeah, I think it's a awesome skill to see players able to read their pressing lines like that. Yeah, I like to see teams just try something a little bit different than slide and hope that they make mistakes. You can put a lot of pressure on these middle defenders in their receipt of the ball by running good lines at the right time. So look to see a little bit more of that from Tonya, by the way, and the Pasifika team. So they have ball around the back for the first time in a little while here. And Bella Ambrose just putting a little bit of pressure on Torival and winning the free hit. They will come forward here through Marika Thomas.
Ooh.
And umpire Ali Shankar there just turning the free hit around for it not being taken on the spot. I think there was a little collision there too by a couple of the players.
Yeah, it was a bit of an agricultural tackle back there, so I think that's what Alicia called it for.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing as strikers attempt to help their team out by coming back and putting some pressure on, often wielding the axe. Unfortunately, just giving away a free hit. And that little trapdoor pass has paid off there. Unfortunate there. I think Bella Ambrosius was playing for the miss, but forgot to trap it at the other end. Now, if you're joining us on Sky Sport Next, anywhere around the country, or on the FIH app anywhere around the world, we welcome you. We are in third quarter hockey here between the New Zealand Maori women's team and the New Zealand Pasifika side, who are locked into a real arm wrestle as they both eye tomorrow's final. And I'm joined on the call by Olympian and Vantage Black Six women's assistant coach Jude Menezes, who's been impressed by the Pasifika's women's side ability to build up play and in their press here disrupt the Māori women's attempts to get out of their own zone. And, they have had the play of the game so far. They're just unable at this point to turn possession and pressure into points, which will begin to be frustrating. They have had the arm wrestle of a game so far, but they have had the share of possession and territory, so they will want to turn that into points in the very near future. As we have Tash Brill here on the ball. She just uses Amy Mitchell, who runs around her defender, as well as around Safi Cribb there, to find Ruby Meehan attack the baseline. Will only get as far as a long corner. Neither goalkeeper really being called on too much in the second half. We're midway through the third quarter here. And perhaps the Māori women just timed there to create something for themselves. The Pasifika defender not judged to have been 5 yards away from the free hit, so leaves Alicia Anka no other option than to award the penalty corner. So this will be interesting to see. Like I talked about, the Pasifika women applying the bulk of the pressure for this game, and will be very disappointed if they are to concede a goal here. We've spoken about overhead exploits. Both Claudia Hannum and Tash Brill do have a drag flick in them. And certainly Tash has flicked at an international level. So we'll look to use that at an attacking set piece here.
That's a great save by Maddie Forbes. They're logging for Tash Brill penalty corner hit, because Tash does have the ability to hit the ball as well. So fantastic work by Maddie Forbes in goal there.
Yeah, it must be challenging when you've got a player there that can do both. She can flick and she can hit. So Maddie did have to stay on her feet initially, and not until seeing the tap forward for a hit was she able to go down and get into a log position there to make a good blocking leg save. So very well saved, and from your perspective, Jude, a good technical save.
Absolutely, really patient to see what Tash was going to do, and the timing to get down in the log was really good. Big save.
Yeah, and certainly the Māori women look to have grown some confidence from that penalty corner as they just break a couple of tackles and attempt to come forward. Unfortunately, Leah Arthur Worsop unable to bring the ball under control. But you can hear it's got a little bit more vocal out on the field there. I'd say they've grown in confidence with that attacking penalty corner. They're putting a little bit more pressure on the Pasifika women's side. So I think, as we expected, Jude, the game will start to open up a little bit here.
Yeah, dead right, Brad. It's just how often have we seen that the team having all the dominance and all the ascendancy, and the opposition just comes out and gets a breakaway goal. So, I reckon the Maori women are out to play in this quarter.
Yeah, and speaking of open play, Lulu has found her teammate here coming forward with the ball. Important tackle there by Ruby Meehan to just shut down Safi Krib, but no call there. Alicia Unker not willing to blow the free hit. I think this is when the game begins to get exciting, Jude. It stretches out a little bit. Both teams really trying to push here.
Absolutely. It's going to have a long corner now for the Pasifika women. Let's see what they've got in store.
Lulu happy just to roll the ball out to Tori Val. She may look for a crash option here. And just deflected over the back line by Tash Brule. Bread and butter stuff for her to her forehand side. Happy just to deflect the ball out over the back line. Pasifika women still in possession here though. It's Kelsey Lomas just touch tackled there by Grayson Keys Kumiroa.
Tash Brule has been really impressive in defence, marshalling her troops along with Claudia Hannum. They've really held this Maori defence well.
Yeah, for those young hockey players at home, Tash playing in that free man role at the moment. Just see how she tracks around, between the ball and the goal, as we expect all good free men to do. Doing her work outside the circle, a lot of talking and cleaning up the mistakes. As you see her there again already on the hotline, as we call it, between the ball and the goal, outside the circle. And that's going to be enough there from Nikki Hayes. She doesn't like what she's seen, and it will be a card to Marika Thomas. So the New Zealand Māori woman here will spend the next 2 minutes down one player. It's Lulu Toilo-Talava with ball in the corner. Uncharacteristic for Tash, and it's probably her first mistake of the game, but it finds her foot. And we were up the other end with an attacking penalty corner only 2 minutes ago. We will now see what the Pasifika women's side have.
It's a clever ball by Lulu, slightly raised off the deck, makes it a bit harder to trap, and I think that's what found Tash's foot, leading to a penalty corner.
Yeah, so this may be the just desserts the Pasifika women's team are looking for after their sustained pressure. Looks like Lulu Toilo-Talava will be up on the first bracket, as Marika Magoon does come down to pull the ball out for the Pasifika side. They've also got Carissa Markia at the second bracket. Unfortunate there, it's just not controlled at the top, and a real coach killer when you do get your first penalty corner and unable to execute the skills required. But it does lead to a counter-attack here for the Māori women's team. Broken down play there, which is well done by Tori Val. Yeah, it's a shame you just don't get a shot away when you're unable to execute the pull trap. Something that, it's a set piece, and as these teams wouldn't have had a lot of time to practice, but you just hope to execute those skills a little better.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for the Pasifika women. It can be very frustrating. Done all the hard work, getting down here, forcing a penalty corner, and then just failing to execute the skill.
One thing that's interesting to note, Jude, and I think it's changed, in this quarter, is how high the Māori women's team's players are. We've got players up in the circle well in advance of 60 yards ahead of the ball. And I think they're just going to try and stretch this game out a little bit with the exploits of Tash and her ability to hit a long ball, ask questions of this Pasifika women's defence, but also give her midfielders a little bit more space in there by pulling their defenders away.
Absolutely right, Brad, because it creates that stretch, and then the Maori midfielders can actually play between the layers of the Pasifika press, which actually has been causing them quite a bit of grief in the first half. So I think that stretch for the strikers has really helped them this quarter. Yes,
we see a couple of free hits in a row here for the Māori women's team as they look to press forward through Claudia Hannum, and that is... it's a great look through there from Anahira Hudson, just unable to find her team. From a coaching perspective, Jude, you'd expect your strikers to just be a little bit lower in the circle there, have their stick on the ground and be expecting the ball to fall to them.
Oh, absolutely right. We keep hammering into our strikers to get into low body positions and almost expect the ball to fall in your space. rather than reacting to it after the ball has been passed.
Oh, it's a physical challenge there on Tonya, by the way. She's got a great shot away on her reverse stick. It's not fully cleared here yet. Good bit of defensive pressure there, just not allowing Safi Crib to get a quality shot. But the first one well saved there by Brodie Cochrane. The Pacifica woman will retain possession. But we can certainly see an increase here in opportunity in this third quarter.
Yeah, the game's now flowing freely both ends now. That's pretty good to see.
Again, you can't quite see on screen here, but New Zealand Māori women's player up in the opposite 25. So that's Tonya, by the way, who we did speak of earlier. She's done fantastically well to get the ball past Tash Brill and in the vicinity of Grace Parkinson, who just didn't quite connect there, but certainly could have come to something. Both teams really turning up the pressure here in their attack. Good initial work there by Marika Magoon just to steer Claudia Hannum away from the middle of the field where she's been most dangerous. Unfortunate to give away the free hit there, but get them in the right areas of the field. It's an easy free hit there to call for Alicia Anka. Unfortunately, what comes with those great aerial balls, Jude, is the ability to be disciplined in the receipt of them. And unfortunately, too often we see those strikers just go running in thinking that any ball's their ball and giving away those free hits. And often it's better just to allow that person to receive the ball and then go into to try and affect the tackle. And that brings us to the end of an exciting third quarter. We are still locked up here at 0-0 between the New Zealand Māori Wahine and the New Zealand Pasifika women. That quarter, Jude, certainly more attacking and more free-flowing than we'd seen in the first half.
Yes, absolutely, Brad. I think that was the best quarter of the game so far, with both teams having equal opportunity. We saw the New Zealand Maori create more opportunity, force a penalty corner, and just a couple of minutes later, Pacifica forcing a penalty corner of their own. Yeah, definitely best quarter of the game for me so far.
Yeah, I think you can see a very obvious and direct correlation between gaining a little bit of confidence as we just look on the One Foundation replay here. It's just the ball that did slip through there, and Tonya, by the way, unable to put it in the goal. This is the penalty corner for the Māori women's team. Just check the work here of the goalkeeper for the Pacifica women's side for you young goalkeepers out there watching this game.
Yeah, really good timing from Maddie Forbes to go down there and get her leg guards in the way and make a good firm block of really strong Tash Brill strike from top of the circle.
Yeah, and this is Tonya, by the way. She's incredibly strong coming down there and does get a good shot. It's another great save by Brodie Cochrane. Does fall to Safi Crib, but her shot, well contested and up over the goal. And this is what could have very nearly been the first goal of our game. Tonya, by the way, again, just unable to link up with Rose Parkinson at full stretch in front of the goal. But I think, like I was saying, a very obvious connection between when a team gets up and puts a bit of pressure on the defensive units outletting the ball, they're creating opportunities. Obviously, fatigue's going to play a part in their ability to do that, but I think at times each team will have opportunity to go and put a full press on, really try and ask questions of that defensive unit, and that's what's being turned into attack.
It'll be really interesting to see how both teams come out in this quarter.
Yep, if you're just joining us, remember this is pretty much a semi-final here. The New Zealand Development Women already through to tomorrow's final. Both teams here with a win and a loss. And a winner here, certainly an outright, will put them into tomorrow's final. So everything to play for in this game. And the New Zealand Pacifica Women newly formed association will be happy with how they're contesting this game. That is Tonya, by the way, taking on Tash Brill and does enough to earn a free hit. Tonya, by the way, has been really impressive for this Pacifica women's side all weekend. And I do feel if something is to come, it will come through her. Again, as we've seen a lot this evening in the game, good little bit of physical contest on the ball there. you love to see it as long as it doesn't turn into any more than that, and a good physical contest it was. As Marika Thomas finds her way into the circle, but just unable to get the clean shot away, under a little bit of pressure from the New Zealand Pasifika defenders.
Yeah, once again, a good long ball from Tash on the sideline to find Marika on the 25 and a good circle entry.
That's a great ball forward again for Tonya, by the way, who has cut inside. Chelsea Heppy there, and outside again. It's very well contested there by Chelsea Heppy, just to stay in the contest and not allow Tonya to get the clean shot, because she is a real strike weapon if she gets a clean shot away there. Claudia Hannum just cleaning up there for the Maori women's team. Yeah, as we look at the points table from today's game, a draw will be enough for the Pasifika women. So a shootout, win or loss, will give them enough points just to stay ahead of the New Zealand Māori women, who do need to win the game upright if they're going to be in tomorrow's final. Good little stick clearance there from Brodie Cochrane, just not allowing the other side of the circle to be accessed by the Pasifika team. So not that I think for a second Paul Magoon's team will be wanting to play for a draw, but it will be enough to see them through to tomorrow's game. As we see a loud stick contest there by Claudia Hannum. Not awarded any free hit, but strong nonetheless, as both teams still push for the first goal of the match. Just lost a bit of possession behind her there, and body shielded the defender away from being able to make an attempt at the ball. And that's the first couple of minutes done in this quarter. Pasifika still with the share of possession and territory in this final quarter, as the Māori women have the ball through Kelsey Teneti, and brought under control there by Grayson Keys Kumiroa. Looking to go through the middle there of the Pasifika women's defence. Doesn't quite fall to the strikers for the New Zealand Māori women's team, but that is Carissa Makia and Grayson Keys Kumiroa having a good battle down in the bottom corner for the ball. There's a fantastic couple of tackles there. Maybe fortuitous by Grayson Keys Kumiroa, but wins them the ball all the same. And she opts just to roll the ball back out. They will keep possession. It was a little scrappy there after all the hard work done by Keys Kumiroa. But the Māori women will have the ball with Claudia Hannum and with Tash Brill at the back. This Tash Brill and Tonya Bothaway battle. Here it is again, Jude. It's expect them to come together again.
Yeah, I reckon it's definitely a ploy. Tonya is just shutting Tash down as soon as she gets the ball, so she's been pretty aggressive there.
Yeah, she's braver than most, getting in and physical in there with Tash, but you're going to have to do something if you're wanting to shut down some of what Tash can do. She's been influential in defence here as they do come forward through Claudia Hannum. Just unable to link up there, but it's a contest won by Kelsey Teneti, and she finds Grayson Keys Kumiroa on the edge of the circle. And there we just see the experience of Lulu Tuilatalava and her physical strength, just riding out the tackle there and doing enough to win the free hit. All right, Jude, I'm going to ask some of the secrets of the trade. You've coached at the highest level in situations like this before. What are you telling your team? You're 0-all. You're in the arm wrestle. You've got a final to look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask them to keep composure, because that's the most important thing at this point of time. I think the team that stays composed now is going to win this contest. Nothing spectacular. Keep it simple. Keep possession of the ball, and by that I mean keep going forward, not holding on to the ball behind.
Yeah. I think too often in these situations we see teams get too desperate and a little bit too frantic and go away from the plans laid for them by perhaps Tina or Paul in the coaching box, and it becomes well, if I can dribble 80 metres and score, I'm going to win my team the game. And unfortunately, that's not the role you're out there to do.
No, that's right. And there's still a lot of time left in this game. There's 11 minutes of hockey still to be played. So this game is a long way from being done.
Yeah, and I think even should we see a goal scored in the next couple of minutes, I don't think it will be the last.
No, I reckon it'll open up even further.
Yeah, as the Pasifika women keep the possession. They do have the ball at a long corner. You can really hear the vocal commands of Tash Brule as she is down this end of the field now. How much communication she does do and how important it is for her side in trying to keep this Pasifika women's team at bay.
Yeah, Tash is a big factor at the back for the New Zealand Maori. With all the experience and international caps that Tash has played for New Zealand.
Yeah, and you will have spent some time coaching Tash in the New Zealand setup. And, you know, you'll have seen, even on the international stage, how important her communication and her physical strength are at the back for a team.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Tash was a real asset when she played at the back. Very strong, very physical, great skill set. So, yeah, really good range at the back.
And as we've just seen here, Tina Belkake for the Maori women just opting to remove their goalkeeper. It's an interesting tactic and one that's been used a lot across different levels of our sport. And the one thing I do like out of Tina's decision is to do it early and give her team the opportunity to actually attack. So often we see it in like the last 2 minutes, and it's probably just got too frantic to really make a difference. Though the Pasifika women do break forward here through Rose Parkinson. Well cleaned up there by young Tiana Curry. But certainly Tina giving her team enough time to maybe push forward. Like I said here, the draw is enough for the Pasifika women's side. Though they won't be hoping for just the draw, it will be enough to see them through to tomorrow's final. So the New Zealand Maori women will really need to push for something here if they are to look to get to the big dance tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. Tina's made a good call by going for it early, taking the keeper off, and really trying to force her hand here. And a lot of times when a team takes their keeper off, the opposition automatically goes and sinks back to defend. And sometimes that actually, that results in conceding a goal. So I think it's a good ploy by Tina Belkake.
Yeah, what you don't want to see out of this Pasifika women's side is for them to try and park the bus and just send 11 players into the circle and hope that nothing gets through, because you have opportunities like that. Because they're not putting pressure on these the outletting group of the Māori women, they're able to pick passes better. So, for Paul Magoon's side, keep sending your strikers out at those outletters. Keep sending them at Tash. Don't go away from that plan that has been working for you so well so far.
Yeah, absolutely agree, because there's still a lot of time left in this game. There's 8 minutes of hockey still to be played. And as I said before, we don't want to be sitting back. You need to be playing forward as much as possible.
Yeah, because the best way to combat 11 field players on the goal on the field is to go and score a goal of your own and make the opposition coach regret taking their goalkeeper off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll just have a wee stoppage of play there as Tash Brule, as she has a few times before, opting to go down Main Street. That has hit the foot pretty hard there of Jamie Lewis, and Tash just coming to help her out. The ball was hit hard. She will be okay. The unfortunate thing, Jude, as we all know, is as soon as you get in the dugout and take your shoe off, it hurts even more.
Yeah, that's right. And Tash can hit the ball pretty hard, so yeah, that will really sting.
Yeah, so just as she is assisted off the field there by her coach and manager, we hope that's nothing more than just a bruise. It probably wouldn't be the first time Tash has potentially broken someone's foot, but we hope all is good with Jamie Lewis. As Tash Brule does just find Ruby Meehan. It's a brilliant touch pass through to Bella Ambrosius there. And it hit
off the post.
No, so it came back into the middle of the field there and hit the leg, I think, of the person in front of the goal as she attempted to sweep it into the goal. So what probably would have been one had she connected with the ball, because the goalkeeper was dead on her post, as she should have been on the cross.
Yeah, it was great bit of play on the right side. They're very, very attacking. Good stuff on the right.
It's certainly the best build-up passage we've seen from either side here. It's 4 high-quality passes there that resulted in a very good goal-scoring opportunity. Wow, it's Hannah Rosalie just rolls on through Amy Mitchell. Eyes up Tiana Curry here. They will keep possession on the 25-yard line. Remember, there is no goalkeeper in here for the New Zealand Māori women's side. And we hear as the New Zealand Māori men's team come around, them offering up support to their women's team. Yeah, Alicia Anka there. She is going to... yes, Storm Dolan Robson there, just showing a card probably for quite cynically kind of sliding in front of the pass inside the 5-yard lines, and rightly so a card. And Alicia Anka just aware of the implications of this game and not going to allow a team to waste time.
Yeah, absolutely good call by Alicia. They're Storm deliberately trying to break play. And New Zealand Maori have really creating quite a few opportunities now. They've set 2 strikers really high, and yeah, they're throwing everything into this contest now.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing, Jude, as we do see Tonya Botherway break forward here. She does have a player in front of her. Safi Cribb just playing the ball out to Antonia Cortese. That is Kelsey Lomas. And they've done well enough to avoid the open goal that sits behind them. Tashbril just pleading for her players to get ahead. Give her a target to hit at, and that's Oriwa Hepi who's pulled the ball down and played out to Bella Ambrosius. You can see a striker well up in the circle for the Māori women's team if Bella can find her. Good clearance there in goal for the Pasifika women's side. Yeah, just notice that they have set a striker a little bit higher, and it's certainly creating some opportunities here. What I will notice, though, from that little attack there, Jude, is they've lost some width. We still have to play hockey there. We can't just keep forcing through the middle to try and create that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're dead right, Brad, because the width is available at the moment. They've got the height, but they're lacking the width at this point of time. So use the width to go around their shape a bit rather than trying to go through their numbers. Yeah,
and remember, the Pasifika women's side have been impressive in the way they've slid in front of this Māori women's side, so it's not going to be easy to break through. They are going to have to earn it, as we see a great tackle there, and unfortunately does all the hard work, and will just rolls on the back of her stick. And that's going to be the penalty corner there that the Māori women's team are looking for. This, with just under 4 minutes to go, will give them an opportunity to put the first one on the board. Unfortunately there for Tori, as she did all the work to make the clean tackle, get the ball out and attempt to clear it, and then one mistake compounded with another, and she finds herself defending a penalty corner. As we see, we've got Claudia Hannum again and Tashbril up the top for the Māori women's team. Score's still locked at 0-0 with just over 3 minutes to play here. And it will be Bella Ambrosius to inject the ball. We had a pretty good look at the line there, Jude. What do you think?
I thought it was going outside the goal.
I think so too. They don't have the luxury of seeing the screen like we do, and Alicia is on the opposite side of the goal, so tough to make a line decision. We did have the luxury of the line. She will talk to Nikki Hayes to get her opinion, but it will be at least a penalty corner and will stay a penalty corner. So they've got the right decision there, as we see on the One Foundation replay. As this camera changes here, Claudia Hannum, it was going outside the goal there when it hit. She was looking for Bella Ambrosius back on the inject, so I'm glad the umpires got together and got the right call there, but it will be another corner.
Great first running line there.
Yeah, they're
Tori Cortese, I think.
Maori women's team may be asking that it came off the foot of the first runner, but you know, Tonya by the way running a brilliant line there. It's a tough line to run at a drag flicker where you have to run the barrel and get in front of it, and she's done well there.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's ever a time to run the barrel, this is it. Dying moments of the game.
Yeah, we're just in under 2 minutes here. Māori women unable to convert that penalty corner, or either of them, but unable to get out of their own 25. This is where you want to see the width. They have shaped up here to transfer the ball if they can get it quickly, but Tashbril just opting to go through traffic. They will win the free hit, but you can see, Jude, players on the left-hand side of the field for the Māori women's side. You can't quite see it in screen, but it is available there.
Yeah, it was rushing that free hit. I reckon go around the shape, bring the ball back, shift the New Zealand Pasifika team.
Yes, Lulu just opting to throw the ball to the other end, and it is picked up by Grayson Keys-Kumiroa. It's a good little touch there by Antonia Cortese, needed to be made. And the Māori women come forward through Anahira Hudson. It's found the foot, and they will take a free hit quickly through Ori Wahepi. Yeah.
Oh, big tackle by Kaya Elliott there. Oh, Kaya Elliott, sorry. Kaya Elliott's in goal.
Yeah. Again, probably just forcing a little too direct from the free hit. You know, they did earn the quick one, and it was taken quickly, but you would have liked to see a little bit more quality option going forward there than the one that they did take. As the Pacific women will earn the free hit out, and we're in under 30 seconds here. Remember, the clock on the screen will be a little bit fast, as we did have time stopped for the injury. And this could be what the match comes down to here. The time will elapse on the screen, but as I mentioned, there will be a little bit of umpire's time here for the injury. But that's a big penalty corner earned there by Kelsey Tenety, strong on the ball. Interestingly enough, she is a dual code representative and does play rugby for the Waikato women's team, so no stranger to physical contact, and she's won them a penalty corner here in the dying moments of the match. They are all up. This is it for the Māori women's side. And that's it. Who other than who we've spoken about all game, Tash Brill, with a drag flick out of the second bracket. Just gets past the toe of the goalkeeper there as we see the one foundation replay. Down the right-hand side, just inside Tonya, by the way, and off the toe into the net. A tough one to save because it does have a little bit of a skip on it, but well executed by Tash Brill. Yeah,
all the experience of Tash coming to the fore here, delivering when it really mattered. So she's had a fantastic game for the New Zealand Maori women and actually has been the game changer here.
Yeah, and as the clock winds down here in the final moments of this game, will very likely be the telling tale unless Lulu can create some magic here for the Pasifika women. Won by Ori Wahepi, and that will spell the end and the winners of this match. And the Māori women just run out with possession here. That, Jude, is a cracking game of hockey. You know, we've seen games already this weekend, high scoring, and those too exciting. But for a game to just end 1-0 in the dying moments and be as exciting as that was, what did you think of that?
Yeah, absolute cracker, especially the second half. The third and fourth quarter have been fantastic hockey from both teams. Pacifica unlucky to come up on the losing side, but New Zealand Maori women were outstanding in defence to absorb all that pressure and then score when it really mattered. So great work, New Zealand Maori women.
Yeah, for those of you joining us on Sky Sport Next and on FIH app, fantastic game of hockey we've just witnessed there between the New Zealand Māori women and the New Zealand Pasifika women. The New Zealand Māori women coming out with the 1-0 win through a drag flick to Tash Brill in the dying minute of the game. Does put them into tomorrow's final against the New Zealand Development Women, so they will be pleased to have got that. The Pasifika women probably 45 seconds away from booking their spot in the final.
Yeah, absolutely, and a great call by Tina Belakaki to pull the keeper off with 10 minutes to go to try to create something, so great coaching as well. Yes,
we see the replay and highlight there of that last goal. Like I said, just a little bit of a bounce on it evades Botherway, the goalkeeper, and Vau in goal, and that is the tail of the tape as we see the Māori women very happy in their team huddle. Paul Magoon's side will be disappointed, but they played an excellent tournament, and they will have a game tomorrow to get up for. Now, thank you for joining us on the call here. I've been Brad Pittman. We'll be joined by Jude Menezes. Thank you, Jude.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brad. It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you guys for the next game, which will be the Pasifika men taking on the New Zealand Maori Tāne. Thank you.